Hey guys, um, what's up? I kind of have come to this like realization recently, and I wanted to share it because if you're an artist like me, it doesn't have to be like drawing or whatever, like any kind of creative thing. I think that you can relate to this, but there's like a ton of pressure with like finding your style. What's my art style? Like, oh, I really want my art style to look like this, or I love this person's art style, or like, you know, those artists that like you look at their Instagram and it's like, oh, they have a niche, they have a style, like everything's super cohesive. I feel like a lot of artists, me included, for so many years have chased um, this idea of having like a recognizable, super unique, super cohesive art style. Like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? I don't know. I've definitely fallen into that, like trying to draw like other people because I loved their art style and I was like, oh, I can make this my style. Like, let me take their style and make it my own because I like it and I want to be like them or whatever. It's kind of annoying to have that pressure, to like have that thought, or to have like your goal have be like making having a cohesive art style your goal. I think like really gets in the way of real artistic progress. And like progress can be anything. Like, this is hard to explain. This is not scripted. I'm just chatting. I think like finding your style is kind of like an impossible task. Like, and it's impossible because you don't even have to do it. You don't have to find your style. Like, whatever way that you create, it is your style. Like, it's not something that you can force. I mean, you can attempt, you know, to force, but it doesn't matter what you do, whether you are like attempting to draw a certain way or you're just randomly drawing differently every single day. Like, whichever way you create is valid, and that is your art style, you know? Like, I think that your style is something that you can't even really see, like, from your own perspective, you know? This is kind of hard to talk about. Sorry, I need to be lounging to talk. I'm like coming to this realization, and it's been like, I don't know, like a couple years or something in the making, this realization. It's like really clicking for me, or has been clicking for me recently in my life, my creative career. And yeah, finding your art style, or like what is my art style, or like how to find your art style, whatever. Like, it's all like whatever you make, that's your art style, like in that moment right now. And I think accepting, or like looking at your art and accepting it and saying, I made this, is like a step that I mean like artists, creatives, whatever, a step that we skip. Like for me, I remember in the past I would be drawing, like I really wanted to be really good at drawing like faces, different characters, like I wanted to make comics and stuff, but I would be so focused on like other people's styles and like how their style looked so consistent. And then when I would look at my work, it would not be as consistent. Like all my characters would look different, or, you know, from my perspective, it looked like a bunch of different people had drawn this can't be the work of one artist because it's so inconsistent. The style's all over the place. And so instead of like accepting that and being like, this is the art that I'm creating right now and that's fine, I was just like, okay, this, like, the art that I'm creating right now, it's not my final form. This is not what I want this to look like in the future. Like, I need to get better so that I can fix this, and this. Just very like forward, like future focus. Like, once I know how to draw hands really well, or once I know how to draw a face from every angle, or once I know how to draw the anatomy of knees, or like whatever the thing is, like once I get there, then I'll have my art style, and then I will be happy with what I make or whatever. But that feeling never goes away. The feeling of looking at someone else's art, knowing it's better than yours, and wanting to be like that, and wanting to be that good, like that is just life. The grass is always greener, you know? There's always going to be something that you want to chase or work towards or whatever. That's kind of the point, you know? Like, imagine if you were like, yeah, well, I'm just perfect at art. I mean, that'd be kind of nice. I think, like, one thing that has helped me in, like, accepting my art in its stage that it is, and I'm not saying I'm accepting it like, oh, this is as good as I'm gonna get, I'm not gonna try anymore to make better art or to improve my skills. I'm gonna stop trying. What I make is what I make, and I'm just gonna keep making it. I mean, if that's your philosophy, then fine, but that's not what I'm saying. I want to continuously keep improving. I want to get better and better, however that looks like, you know. I don't even know yet. I don't know what new skills I'm going to attempt to master or learn or whatever. But I think, like, one thing that has helped me in accepting my art, and there are so many people that relate to this, like, I like to draw weird stuff and draw in different ways and experiment and play and purposely scribble and purposely make ugly stuff, and then on the other hand, I like to make really beautiful, intricate things. Like, there's just no way that I could ever commit to drawing in a certain way. And it's so crazy because as I say that, I'm thinking about how there have been threads of consistency in the way that I draw throughout my entire life. Like, I draw these little, like, creature, little, like, tiny animal doodles, like nonsensical animal doodles, and I've been drawing those for my whole life, since I was 2 years old, literally. I wish I had, like, my art from when I was a kid. Maybe my mom has it. But I've been drawing these shapes forever, and it's something that I totally don't even, like, group in with my art style, because I'm like, oh, those are just, like, dumb doodles that I draw. And I'm coming to this realization that, like, everything that I make, every single thing, even the dumb little doodles, quick doodles, whatever, those are all part of my art style. They're all part of me. They're all equally as important as, like, very intricate pieces of artwork, you know, where I use a reference photo or whatever. It's all me. It's all coming from me. So it's my style. And I just wish that, I mean, I don't have any regrets, because everything that I've gone through as an artist has made me the artist that I am today, and I'm appreciative of every step along the way. Even the steps where I was like, I need to have a consistent art style or I'm going to freak out. But yeah, it's just so important to just make stuff. Oh my gosh. The conclusion to, like, every single one of my epiphanies ever in my life is, like, just create stuff. Just do it. Just freaking do it. So I'm really not saying anything new here. I think I am just kind of taking a look at all the art that I've ever made that I have around me that I can look at on social media or just, like, in my room, and just allowing it to be my art style. Just saying, yeah, that's my art style. Everything that I make, that's my art style. And ever since I've started, like, saying that to myself, or, like, being more accepting of my work and not caring if it's cohesive, not caring if, you know, I think it doesn't fit with my style, whatever that means, with my aesthetic or my person or my artistic personality. like in saying that I'm accepting almost makes it look consistent to me. Like it's literally a mindset shift that everything that I'm making is in my style because I say it is. And that has been like a really big realization, believe it or not. And really interesting. Like I draw stuff like this. I also draw stuff like this. And that's okay. It's all part of a whole, in my opinion, nowadays. I didn't used to think that. That's just my style. That's me. And I think saying this is my art style, everything you draw, instead of saying, oh, like, I like this drawing, but it's not quite my art style. Like, just saying, this is my style. It is what it is right now. It might change. It will change, for sure. Yeah, just accepting it makes you happier about your art style, too. The other thing is thinking about your story, and like taking your story as an artist. Let me just say me taking my story, because this is just my opinion. This is what I'm doing. Okay, this is what I've decided to do with my life. Taking a look at my entire story and just like taking it really seriously, taking all of the art that I have made really seriously. And I'm not saying like that means you can't draw anything funny or whatever. Like a lot of times I like to draw these little characters farting, you know, simply because I just like to draw these shapes and farts are funny. And I take that very seriously. Like I'm now taking all of the art that I make very seriously and appreciating what it took for me to make this stuff, you know, throughout my entire life. And like I kind of like to think about like what if somebody was writing a book about me or something, because I'm a super famous artist and have all these awards and have done all this cool stuff, you know, could happen. But this is just my fantasy world, whatever. And imagining somebody writing a book about me and writing my story from when I first started creating to the end of my life or something. And they'll say, yeah, she drew these little creatures, these little dogs or whatever, throughout her whole life, little doodles, and eventually that became her signature shape. It eventually became a recognizable symbol, you know, for everyone. Just like looking at random pieces of my art and imagining what could be said about them in the future when I'm famous. Which is very silly, and it's not like, oh, this is my, like, I really want to be a famous artist. I don't really know if that's my goal in life. I don't really think so. But what if, you know? And what would they say? Everything that you make is like another step in your story, in your artistic journey. So everything you make is so important. Every single piece, even the mess ups, the failures, like every single thing is important and therefore part of your style. Because without that shitty piece of art, you would have not made the next slightly less shitty piece of art, you know? Yeah. Moral of the story, I'm really happy that I came to this realization, because I can take a look at like the things that I draw, the things I tend to draw, the things I really like to draw, and just emphasize those things and celebrate those things and do more of what I just like to do, because something inside of me is making me do it. So it's got to be important, right? For some reason. It is. It is important. I don't know why, but it is. And yeah, that's like all I have to say for now. I might have some more thoughts later. Bye.